All of you are asking me what it is that I need. How can you people help me with the mayor run? You all know that I'm running for mayor of Mississauga. We have to get Commie Bonnie or Brain Dead Bonnie, whichever one you want to call her. Let's get her out of office. Well, let's do this. How about these? Ready? Scroll by the camera. Oh, wait, wrong way. There you go. Now you can read it. I've got a bunch of these in now, a whole bunch of them. What was really amazing is that, so not amazing. Let me explain something. It's not really amazing. It's kind of actually foolish. Last election, we are almost 100% sure that Bonnie Crombie in her mayor campaign spent more than what she was allowed to spend. Last year, we were allowed to spend $398,000. Sorry, not last year, 2014. In the mayor run, we were allowed to spend $398,000 for the campaign. It was brought up over and over and over again that Bonnie Crombie, when she won the mayorship, had spent well over that, probably to the tune of $5,500 to $600,000, which is a lot of money. Well, here's what happened, is that Kathleen Wynne, who's a liberal nut job, got a whole bunch of complaints from a whole bunch of people that had run saying it wasn't fair that politicians could go over their limits. It wasn't fair that we are not competing in the same arena. It wasn't fair in any way. Well, you're right. It's actually ridiculous that you can spend $400,000 to have a job that pays $165,000, whatever it is a year. You know, really, why would you do that? Why would you take bank loans out to spend $400,000 on a job that pays less than a quarter? Sorry, no, a third. Pays a third of what you actually spent per year. You won't recoup the money after tax until the fourth year. Are you planning on stealing? Is that what it is? Here's some questions for Bonnie. You spent probably $500,000 last year because you wanted to do what? Oh, I know. You wanted to give yourself a raise to $250,000 a year. You wanted, allegedly, the Islamic hate groups out there, the ones that want Jews, Christians, and Hindus and Buddhists dead. You knew that they would give you money, allegedly. You are stealing from the city. Just a question. Can't prove it. Just a question. When I am mayor, though, I will prove it, and you will go to jail. That's how it's going to work. So, Kathleen Wynne, and this is where it gets really sick. She says, I'm going to fix this election problem. We are going to fix the problem that we are having with too much money being spent by the ones who are overtly rich in this game. Let's say there's no more money that you can bring in from corporations. You cannot take corporate donations because Bonnie Crombie got a lot of corporate donations. Companies that would like to have a favor done in the future. So she says the limits will stay where they are. You can still spend $398,000.05. But no more corporations. No more corporations can donate to your campaign. Not a one. However, we have this new thing now called third-party advertising. Now, check this out, all right? If you are a corporation and you were going to donate to Bonnie Crombie, you had a cap of $750 that you could donate. That was your cap. Now, corporations can't donate. So you figure that Bonnie Crombie is going to have fewer donations this year. Well, no. Individuals can now donate $1,200. Or is it $1,250? I think it's $1,250. Go to my website. Go to kevinjjohnston.ca. I believe it's $1,200 or $1,250. Great. Okay, so now you can donate more money as an individual. But you can be a third-party advertiser. So let's just say, I don't know, Paramount Fine Foods, Not So Fine Foods. Let's just say, I don't know, the restaurant chain that's under watch of the Burmese army for, I don't know, allegedly funding arson terrorists. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he wants to help Bonnie Crombie get elected. So he registers online as a third-party advertiser and says, yes, I'll buy advertising on behalf of the candidate of my choice. He can spend up to $25,000 buying newspaper ads and brochures and signs and whatever else he wants. $25,000 he's allowed to have. Now, where it gets really ridiculous is that we all know the way corporations play the corporation game. You register a corporation. Let's call it Umbrella. Umbrella Inc. It's up here. Then that corporation registers 1 Inc., 2 Inc., and Bonnie Crombie Inc., and Terrorists Incorporated. You've got 4 corporations now. And even though the 4 corporations are owned by Umbrella up here, 1, 2, Bonnie Terror, they can all pay $25,000 into Bonnie Crombie's ad campaign. And that's province-wide. That's not just Mississauga. That's province-wide. So the mathematics are this. They went from a cap of $398,000 to a cap of nothing. No cap. There's no caps whatsoever. You can spend an unlimited amount because there's no limit to the number of corporations who can dump $25,000 into a Bonnie Crombie campaign. No limit. And this was done deliberately by the Liberal Party because they knew that some of their Liberal members, like Bonnie Crombie, were still going to have a residual income left over, or they were going to have so many Islamic groups submitting cash to them that it's a slam dunk win. So we have to petition Mr. Ford to go back to the standard of just a cap. Let corporations donate. Who gives a crap? If a corporation's handing over $750, that was okay. That was actually pretty controlled. I actually never once protested corporates being able to donate because who cares? If you're able to talk a guy who owns 2 corporations into $750 for him and then $750 for each one, makes you a good salesman. That's what capitalism is supposed to be. Just jump on the phone with companies and say, hey, you want to donate? All right, good. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. You're on my Christmas card list, which, of course, Bonnie Crombie does on the taxpayer's dime. But now with no limit. There are no limits to the spending on any mayoral campaign anywhere in the province of Ontario. That's what we're up against. So, everybody, we need to get these all over the city. All right? So if you've got a tree, or if you've got a car, we can put these in the back window of your car. You can tape it to your bumper if you want to do it. If you have a tree, we just a couple screws, hold the thing on for a month. Fences, you got fences? Let's get these things up everywhere. Everywhere. These are cheap to produce. I can get them done pretty fast. Usually I can get them done in a day. And if you've got a piece of property and you want to have a whole bunch of them, well, hey, let me know. By the way, we got another one here. 1 second. One second there. They're all here in the studio. There we go. Oh, yeah. Check that one out. Who wants one of these? Yeah, anybody? If anybody wants one of these, please, by all means, let me know. Is the pink line, we'll be cutting the thing down so it'll look nice and blue on the edges. There we go. And this really unusual one showed up. This one was kind of cool. I didn't order this, but check it out. I mean, it just keeps going and going and going and going and going and going. And it's still going. Look, it's still going. Look, it's still going. So, oh, wait, there's no room back here anymore. Look, oh, it's still going. There you go. So that was pretty cool. I guess we could cut that one down into multiple small signs. But listen, we're up against probably $10 million that's going to be spent on Bonnie Crombie's campaign. We still can defeat her. A lot of money doesn't mean that you're the right person here. So many people in this town are absolutely fed up with her. I went to 3 different churches on Sunday. I won't say which one so that Bonnie doesn't go sniffing around there. But I went to 3 different churches. I went to Mass. I sat in the churches. I had a good time. Talked to the priests. Talked to the reverends. Talked to everybody that I possibly could talk to. And they all say the same thing, that they're fed up. They're tired. They're tired of being lied to. Christians say the same thing all abroad, is that we're being slaughtered all over the world, being killed, and our government is as anti-Christian as you can be. And that's what Bonnie Crombie is. Yet, some churches are still giving her money because they haven't met me yet. So people, look, let's get in on this. And it doesn't even matter if you're not in Mississauga. It doesn't matter. Period. It just doesn't matter. Let's say, for example, this. Let's say the big signs I've got here. you're in, let's pick a town. You're in Barrie, Ontario. And you've got Kevin J. Johnston stuff all over your balcony, all over your tree, all over your front lawn. I know I'm not running for mayor in Barrie. And your bylaw might come by and say you've got 30 to 45 days to take this stuff down. Fine. That's okay. Here's what happens. People are going to look at the sign. Who is this Kevin J. Johnston guy? They're going to type in kevinjjohnston.ca. Google is going to register the traffic. Oh, look, Mississauga. Oh, Barrie, Toronto, Sudbury, Vancouver. So the website goes, boop, 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 boop. Everyone says all you need to do to get traffic on your website is to have a really good search engine optimization campaign. No, the majority of your traffic is still going to come from offline sources. You have to have signs out there, newspaper articles written about you, signs on your car, stickers, go to trade shows. That stuff still works. Personal interaction, especially with those over the age of 40, is going to work a whole lot more. And even the shut-ins, even the kids that stay home all day and play video games, will at some point be walking past a tree to go to school, and they'll see the sign, and they'll type it in. So that is the strategy here. We need the website traffic to go up, and it doesn't matter where the traffic is coming from, because once it begins to knock its way up, then Google will start to do a lot more for us. Their algorithms will, until they manually go in there and shadow ban me, which we hope does not happen. So there we are. Let me know if you want signs. By the way, there's some private property that I've been allowed to put my signs up on. If any of you out there would like to join me in going out and putting them up, let me know right away. I also had a couple of requests here. What is it that Kevin J. Johnston needs? Well, here's what I do need, guys, is I have been looking around everywhere for one of these. Maybe one of you can help me out with this. As silly as it sounds, I want to up my workouts now. I need a truck tire at least 4 feet to 5 feet high. If any of you got that and a sledgehammer, bring them on over, because there is no better exercise than smashing the side walls of a truck tire for an hour. If you've ever done that for an hour, believe me, you're ready for bed. And that's I need one of those. So truck tire, sledgehammer, you could really help me out with that. All right, let's move on here. Sue Ann Levy. I don't know if you've ever listened to her speak, but I love Sue. Sue Ann Levy was actually thinking about running for mayor of Toronto, but I think her and Faith Goldie had a conversation about this, and Faith decided to run instead. Now, Sue Ann Levy, sweet lady, little 5 foot tall gal. She writes for the Toronto Sun. She's a conservative. And like me, no fear. She just walks right into crowds to go and get the story. There was supposed to be a rally in Toronto by Wakai. And that's Joey, I forget, is Joey D, I think it is, out in, I met him once out in Calgary. He gave me a shirt. Now, Wakai was going to come out and talk about the dangers of radical Islam, which is what Wakai does. And somehow that information got out. So John Tory goes out and makes this big production of it. We are not going to allow hate to happen here. So they actually revoked the permit to do this at Nathan Phillips Square. It was moved to Queen's Park, and then it was canceled outright. But that didn't stop Antifa. Antifa came out looking for a fight. Now, they'll always fight you with pepper spray and weapons and their faces covered, but nonetheless, they still came out looking for a fight. They knew the event had been canceled. Now, they see this as some type of victory, and I said, no, it's not a victory. What it is that you're trying to run a seminar outdoors, and it's on subject matter now that people, they're not tired of hearing about it. It's just that we need to take a different approach. And the different approach is no more of this outdoor rally stuff, because all that's going to happen is politicians will take the sides of Islam and insult you, and the police will have to be there, and Antifa is going to show up and just make complete fools of themselves and probably ruin the city. What I'm saying now is we got to start bringing this indoors where you sell tickets. I mean, even if a ticket is $10, but believe me, Antifa's not coming. They're not coming. And you do it somewhere where, yeah, Joey D, thank you, Brian. You do it somewhere that's not near a bus stop, and Antifa's not coming. They don't have cars. They don't have jobs to pay for cars. They can't afford car insurance. And besides, they've got video games. and they've got mommy at home breastfeeding them. Why would they ever try to get somewhere that there's no bus line to get to? So the show was canceled either way. And with it being canceled, Antifa goes, well, but we've already organized a bus from Montreal and a bus from Ottawa and a bus from Kingston. We want to wear masks and we want to shout the word Islamophobia. We can't spell it, but we want to shout it. So they came down anyway. They were told the protest is done. But they came down anyway. And lo and behold, there's no protest that they refer to as a fascist, hate-filled, anti-Islam protest. But they decide to go and pick on people anyway. Now, if they can't throw stuff at Joey D and Sandra Sullivan, they got to throw something at somebody. So they call themselves Stop the Hate. And here's a little bit of it. Let's throw it up on the screen for you here. Greeting
you all with peace. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
As
Yeah,
Muslims,
sure.
we begin every interaction with a wish for salam, for peace. The exact opposite of what the World Coalition Against Islam was trying to bring into this square today.
Okay, first off, the Coalition Against Islam is not there to do anything other than talk about how dangerous political Islam really is. I mean, this is something that I've been talking about for quite some time. Political Islam is as dangerous can be. It's awful. And our rights are being taken away by governments who have sided with radical Islam. That's what they want to talk about. We also want to talk about the fact that M103 is a distraction, but it's still put the bug in everybody's ear that now you cannot speak ill of Islam, period. And the Toronto Human Rights Tribunal is run by a Muslim who can't wait to tell anybody out there, you spoke ill about Islam? No problem, $10,000 please, which is extortion. And I'm still, please, waiting. Toronto, this is a message to the Toronto Human Rights Tribunal. Could you please put me in front of you? Please? I beg you. Look at my videos, find something that you don't like, something that offends you, and put me in front of the Human Rights Tribunal so that I can sit there and make my opening statement, tell you exactly what you are, which is a powerless group of thugs. And should you decide to say, I owe you money, I'm going to arrest you on the spot for extortion. I'll be bringing handcuffs with me and a couple of big black guys. Yeah, I'm saying big black guys. My bodyguards, I just want black guys as bodyguards. Why? Because white people are afraid of black people. That's it. And Muslim men are terrified of black men, especially the ones that speak English. No, they don't like them at all. You walk in there as a black guy with a chest much bigger than mine and 18-inch pipes, possibly 20-inch pipes, believe me, he'll sing like a canary. And they all will. They're all cowards. But either way, this is what Kai wants to talk about. The same stuff I've been talking about. The only difference is that Joey has a little bit of a problem with public speaking. I'd like to actually train him and everybody else in that. But either way, he still has the right message. Sometimes his delivery is incorrect, but we live and we learn on our delivery. If someone's going to do something full-time like what I'm doing or like what Joey's doing, you just get better with time. It's simply how it is. You get better with time. Let's continue listening to this Takia Master here, shall we?
But the people of Toronto are not split. We are not divided. We are united in saying that white supremacy and racism and Islamophobia has no place in our city. And whenever it rears its head, we will show up, we will shut it down, and we will do it together.
And then we're going to go home and Mama's going to breastfeed and change my diapers. And then I'm going to play video games for 4 straight days. And then I'm going to get on Twitter and like make some comments that are like negative towards like somebody. And then I'm going to call it a victory. And I'm going to get into an argument with somebody online. And they're going to shut my argument down. So what I'm going to do is say, you're an Islamophobe, and put 7 happy faces on my tweet. And I'm going to call it a victory. And then I'm going to go play more video games. And then eventually what might happen is my mom might get upset that I fill my diapers too much. So she's going to stop changing them. So I'm going to go see my Aunt Karen, and maybe she'll change them. And then I'm going to not go to school because like I'm so cool and tough. And then I don't know what I'm going to do, because I'm going to find myself 10 years from now as a guy in my 30s with no job and no girlfriend and no apartment and no car and no driver's license and no education, and I'm not going to be able to figure out at all why nobody will hire me because I keep walking into places with swastikas on my forehead saying that you're a racist, and they don't like that for some reason, and they should like that, but I don't understand why. Is that about right? I think I nailed it. So he says racism and Islamophobia have no place in Toronto. And for those who live in Toronto, you could walk the streets of the city every day for the rest of your life and never see anybody picking on anybody else on the streets because of their race. You just don't see it there. I didn't see it in Washington, D.C. I didn't see it in New York. I didn't see it in San Jose. I didn't see it in Houston. I didn't see it in Montreal or Quebec City or Vancouver or Calgary or Edmonton or Red Deer. I did not see it in Sudbury or North Bay. I did not see it in Yangon. I did not see it in Hong Kong. I just did not see people being picked on because of the color of their skin. This racism thing is blown so far out of proportion that you all have the wrong idea on what it really is. And listen, if you're a bigot and a racist, it's okay. Because the odds are pretty good you're nobody of any influence whatsoever, and you'll probably go home like Archie Bunker did in the show All in the Family and talk about things you don't like and people that you don't like. I mean, yeah, I remember my old man was a really hostile guy. He was hostile. And as a kid, when you're watching an adult rant and rave about something, it's really hard not to laugh. You know, but he would come in like, oh, these goddamn chinks, they can't drive. They're like this, they can't drive a car. And then boom, a whole spoonful of spaghetti in his mouth. Now, how do you not laugh at that as a kid? It was hilarious. But that's it. I mean, he had his thing. He only ever did this at home. He wouldn't go out and do this. And then by the time he hit about 55, 60 years of age, I think he caught on to the fact that it wasn't benefiting him in any way. And he really calmed down. He ended up taking a great job with an insurance company called Hub Insurance. And the whole office was Chinese. He was the only white guy there. So people will grow out of this nonsense eventually if you just sit back and let them bury themselves. You know, these Antifa guys, let them bury themselves. They'll figure out in their 40s what they did wrong. And maybe at that point, they'll try their best to fix their lives up. Maybe. Honestly. And as you and I know, I talked about my old man, for example. He was a really violent guy when I was growing up. And then, towards the end, in the last 5 years of his life, he and I were best buds. It's just how things are. He grew as a person. I grew as a person. And the two of us realized, all right, we made mistakes in our relationship. And now we fixed them. So people will eventually get out of this crap on their own. But Antifa's coming out because they keep feeding off of each other. And they say that they're going to shut it down. Sorry, pal, but you're not going to shut down people's private thoughts. And for you to say that an organization that's coming out who has never broken a single law is wrong to come out and speak is absolutely wrong on your end. So anyway, you come out and you've got these signs. Together we are strong, I think it says. Terrible penmanship. What else do we have here? We are socialists. We fight back. Okay, socialism's bad. You guys don't seem to realize that you're communist, Marxist lunatics who will destroy the country if you ever get the chance to do so. Why is it always white people that come out for this stuff? Here's my question. This is a protest stating that you're not allowed to talk about Islam in a public square. Where are the Muslims? Do you see one here? I don't see a single burqa. I don't see a single niqab. I don't see a single hijab. I don't see a single dirty beard. You know that beard that they wear? I hate that beard. That is an offensive facial growth. I hate it. Honestly, I do. I can't stand it. It's one of those, hey, look at me. I'm in your face. Remember this? Remember what Italians used to do? Hey, yo, no, slito, hey, That's what that beard is to me. It's just a constant moving of the hand. I hate it. But I don't see a single one here. Not one. It's all stupid white people. Why are you people not at work? Why are you people not having lunch with your children? Why are you people maybe not having lunch with your community? The people on your street. Get together, have a street party. Why don't you all do something useful with your time instead of coming down here and defending political Islam, which is going to put you in jail cells or just behead you in the streets. See, here's the thing, people. If you've got kids, you really do have to think 50 years ahead. Where is this society going to be 50 years from now? I've created these lives, and I've given them what? I've given them food and shelter and whatnot, but have I given them a future? Have I given them the ability to think? And have I done enough to make sure that the society that they are in will still be a decent one when they're old and want to have kids of their own? And you people here who are helping the enemy of mankind, not just the West, the enemy of mankind, you people who are helping the enemy of mankind are destroying your children's futures. So, all you stupid white people here, whenever Antifa calls you out, don't go. Stay home. Be with your children. Read the Quran. Read the Hadiths. Read everything Bill Warner and Robert Spencer and Pamela Geller have had to say on this. Start educating yourselves. The reason that these people are here is because they're stupid, first off, and they are uneducated, secondly. So Antifa has made this speech, but they're not content to make the speech. See, I would go out with the microphone, make a speech. All right, thank you, everybody. All right, goodbye. Shake hands. How you doing? I'll pose for photographs. Get together. Selfie. Twitter. Having a great time here in Toronto with great people. Boom. Not these guys. This is not fun for them. You see, here's the thing. This is not a good time. And by my own admission, rallies are fun because you get a chance to meet like-minded people that are cool. You just get to meet new people that have a similar thought process on select subject matter. But for these guys, this is not fun. For these guys, it's some type of war that they have been told that they must fight on behalf of people who are not even here. There's no Muslims here who are joining with white folks. Why? Because they hate you. Because the Quran indicates clearly that you must hate everything that's not a Muslim. That's why. Everyone here, you should be ashamed of yourselves. And you should be embarrassed. Because you're fighting a fight for someone who's actually currently behind the scenes fighting you. And for what? What did any of you gain from this? Did you make money? Did you get a house? Did anybody get a free slice of toast and a bowl of soup? I don't think so. You got nothing. You got your faces out here being shown off that you're violent. Let's watch how this degrades.
We are here both to protest the presence of fascist and racist groups and also to celebrate that many of them back down.
We're here to protest racist and fascist groups, says the most fascist group in the country currently. They call themselves Antifa, and what they use is fascist tactics and violence to get their way, even though they don't know what their way really is. And they're cowards. Mask, 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 mask. And the problem with Antifa members is that they're all pussies. If they hit you, what they do is they come running up with a weapon, hit you, like they'll reach right over and hit you with it, and then run away. And remember this, the evidence is me. They are so pussyish, so weak, so unskilled at fighting that I was able to hold 46 of them off. Yeah, it took 46, and they couldn't kill me. They broke the cartilage on my ear, which the plastic surgeon repaired. That's all they could do. And they all had weapons, and I didn't. I got hit with a police baton, and I got hit with a bunch of sticks. And they really did try to get me in the face. They tried really hard. It was all head attacks. Now, this person here will probably think that going out and hitting an old man's a really good idea, and we're about to see it happen.
Right, we know that you have an editorial agenda. You're talking from the sun.
There we go. Right off the bat, hitting old people. Look at that. See? They reach over with the hit, and then he takes off.
Can you arrest him for assault? Assault, right there. No. Oh, yeah, you got assault.
You're fucking harassing us.
Right? This is Antifa's biggest trick, is they'll come out and they'll assault you, and then when you say assault and they get arrested, I didn't do anything. I wasn't me. That's what they do. It's brutal. Antifa, I know you're watching. You are all pussies. None of you know how to fight. None of you know how to debate. None of you know how to be decent. There is not a single thing that an Antifa member can do well at all, aside from maybe buy bus tickets. That's it. Antifa, you have no skills that are of any value to you, to your family, to your country, to mankind. You are of no benefit to anyone. Nothing that you're doing here matters in any way because you've done the exact opposite of what you thought your goal was, and that is you've turned the public against you. When Faith Goldie's in there, she's already made it clear that she's going to have a face mask ban on all city property. When I'm mayor, so will I. The difference is I'm going to tell my guys, bring them in. Bring them in. Yep. Even if you have to make something up, bring them in. Just bring them in. A couple of days in jail. So what you do with Antifa is you arrest them on, say, a Friday afternoon, and then you make them wait until Monday. Give them 2.5 days in a jail cell to really cool off. That's what you do. They'll probably get released on the Monday, but that's okay. 2 days in a jail cell tends to cure any kid under 25. It's not a nice place to be.
You're harassing us.
Officer, can I get one of you guys to be proactive here?
One of us is going to walk in that
Don't harass me again.
The police don't work for you. They don't work for you. Just because you're at the Toronto Sun doesn't mean the police work for you.
A cameraman telling the Toronto Sun, this is Sue Ann Levy, like they're yelling at a woman who's 5 feet tall in her 50s. That's what they're doing. They're attacking a 5 foot tall woman. Who does that sound like to you? Does that sound like radical Islam to you? Beating women? It sounds like it to me, don't you? Antifa, here's the accusation I'm making. You are all wife beaters. All of you are wife beaters. You beat up little women. I hope it makes you feel tough. But here's the deal. It's only a matter of time now. Doug is going to get fed up. Doug Ford will get fed up with this stuff, just like Donald Trump has got fed up with it. You can do 15 years in jail now for wearing a mask and committing a crime in the States under the guise of Antifa. Good. Justin Trudeau will not be in office forever, and it's only a matter of time before I'm in a position of power to start doing something about it. And believe me, Antifa, if you think that I'm not going to hold you accountable 10 years from now when I am in a major position of authority for what you're doing today, you are sorely mistaken. I'm going to find you, and we're going to charge you, and we're going to lock you up for a bit. I don't even care if you've left Antifa and moved on with your life. It doesn't matter. You're going to pay for this. We have to make you all pay for this so that the next generation of fascist groups that call themselves anti-fascist groups will realize this is not worth it. Maybe I should go and get a job. Maybe I should join a church group or something, and maybe I should coach youth sports. Maybe I should be doing something useful with my time instead of beating up 55-year-old women who are 5 feet tall.
We don't want you. You're not wanted. How does it feel now? Assholes?
Keep in mind, when you're watching this, queer anarchy? What? What is queer anarchy? Do these guys even know why they're there? What the hell is queer anarchy? Let me tell you the truth here. Gay men over 30 don't want anarchy, man. They like the fact that they don't have kids and that they get to keep more of their own income. Gay males over 30, anarchy is the last thing in the world they would want. I know a lot of gay guys, man. You know what they've got? Nice houses, nice condominiums, nice cars, really nice clothing. Yeah, the clothing part I tend to be a little jealous of. But, man, these guys they've got it all. Yeah, they don't want a queer anarchy. I need a definition. Can anybody who's watching right now in the chat room here, could any of you maybe look up queer anarchy and find out if there's actually a definition for it? Or if this is just one of those stupid signs that they've put out there. Queer anarchy? My God. Brian says, my little grandson was told he couldn't wear a mask on Halloween when he went out as a Lone Ranger. School wouldn't allow it, but they will allow a burqa to come to their schools. That's Mississauga in Meadowvale. That's where I live. Yeah, it sounds about right. Well, listen, when I went to pick my kids up when they were younger, I put the full-blown mask on. Oh, yeah. I put the werewolf mask on with the big woolly hands and the big woolly costume, and I would actually crawl on all fours. I can really go well on all fours, and that's what I would do. Yeah, the kids loved it. You know, they'd be afraid, but they would jump away and they would jump back in. Ah, you can't get me. You can't get me, huh? They had fun. You know, the school told me I can't do it on school property. No problem. I went to the sidewalk. The hell with you. Then the principal asks me if I would come down and speak to him about my Halloween costume. And I asked him, well, yeah, if you could get me a credit card number, I'll zap your credit card for $350 and we'll come down. You got to buy my time. You know, just tell me on the phone what you want. We don't allow masks. I said, well, I don't care what you allow. You are not someone that I've ever signed a contract with to grant any authority over me to you, period. In fact, I pay your salary, you work for me, so this conversation's over. It's real simple. But here they are, dressed up like Halloween freaks. Not even good costumes, just, you know, what am I? This guy here, this guy's a dildo. This guy here is a used dildo. I mean, these are terrible costumes, guys. These two here are ghosts, I guess, and dildos. This chick over here, she's definitely a dildo, but she's one of those ultra thick ones. They're idiots. Queer anarchy. They clearly don't know what they want. And they're angry. These guys are actually angry that there was no Wakai protest, no Islamic information group out there that they could actually throw stuff at. That's the problem. They got mad, so they started attacking journalists who were just covering the story.
Racist out! Refugees in! Racist out!
Refugees.
Racists out, refugees in. But they were there to protest protesters. But there was no first protest for them to be protesting. So they just caused trouble.
In, racist out. Refugees in.
All right, that's the Toronto Sun. That's their take on it. So that's Antifa, everybody. And if you've got kids, or if your kids have friends and they're over the age of 17, you got to make it clear what your stance is on Antifa. If my kids ever join Antifa, believe me, not only will I kick their asses, but I'll go find the Antifa group that they're in and kick all their asses, just because. They might get me on 7 or 8 counts of assault. Definitely assault causing bodily harm, but that's all right. No problem. You know, 15 years down the road, my son will say, hey, you know, Pop, remember that time you went down there and beat the crap out of those 7 Antifa guys because I joined? Thank you. He'll say that. You know, just like with my old man, there's some stuff that he did that I hated when I was 16, but I realized, yeah, hey, Pop, remember that time? Yeah, I'm sorry. You were right. I was wrong. That's what happens when you grow. That's what happens when you grow. So keep your kids away from these groups. Keep your kids away from any of the Islamic groups out there. Black Lives Matter, Antifa, the Communist League. They are all domestic terror groups. You do not want your kids being charged with domestic terror. When Faith Goldie wins, when John Sperveri wins, when I win, when Paul Fromm wins, when eventually we get a true conservative into office, not Andrew Scheer, but a true one, they will be designated terror groups. And your kids will go to jail.